Well, not many college games you see with 200 points. Uh, Ben's done a great job. I knew they were very good. They're playing like a top 25 team. Um, and they cause you a lot of problems. I thought Elijah Hawkins was absolutely special today. 12 assists, no turnovers. He didn't have to score. I thought Terrence did a pretty good job on him in the first half. And then we kind of flipped Terrence over to Cam, and yeah, they were going. Cam's, my opinion, that's what they look like. That's what a pro looks like. I think there's very few guys in college basketball who can shoot off the bounce. I think they told me they had 9 of their threes were off the bounce. That's very hard for college players to do. It's very rare, very unique. And Cam was terrific. He was terrific. Dawson's obviously McDonald's All-American, a veteran. I thought we strung together enough stops late. We found something. We literally ran one play the last 12 minutes. We didn't have to be overly creative. It's nice to have guys make shots. It's nice to have layups and fouls, and that's what booty ball does, is creates those. We felt like they had matchup issues with us, and we were just able to kind of exploit that. Marcus was terrific, and be very remiss if I didn't talk about Dane and his performance. We're starting to get a little more comfortable with Dane in our booty ball action, where there's space and him creating opportunities to move around where he doesn't get in the way. But he was terrific tonight. Gave us a real physical presence against Payne, who's obviously a very good player.
Coach, it did seem like kind of a chess match in the second half. There was, in terms of finding the right matchups on both ends. Were there some changes you thought impacted that and allowed you to start pulling ahead a little bit?
Well, I thought Justin coming in. I thought Justin did a really good job. That we started the second half and we made the switch, put Terrence on Cam, and kind of made things harder. And then all of a sudden here Elijah gets going, and I thought Justin coming into the game impacted that a great deal. Put Terrence back on the ball, and just kind of made catches a little bit harder for their perimeter shooters. But they made everything they looked at. You give them a lot of credit, and then I thought we got enough stops, enough rebounds, and then it didn't put a ton of pressure on us because we were scoring at the other end.
Obviously, you've had some teams come in here and shoot pretty well here at the State Farm Center. Is when they get hot, is it because they get off to a good start and they get that confidence, or how do you get them off that, early on in the game?
Well, I think we've got to understand that we've got 5 really, 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 really good offenses. And I'm really tired of the narrative in the Big Ten that this is a big, slow, slug 'em out league. And the dynamic has changed in this league. This is a guard league. We haven't had Zach, no doubt, but this is a guard league. There's some unbelievably good guards in this league. Best I've seen since I've been here. But offensive efficiency in this league, we have 5 teams above what Purdue was last year. And Purdue was one of the most efficient teams in the country last year. We have 5 teams this year. So offense is at a premium. You have to be able to score to win games. And the old cliche, offense wins games, defense wins championships. Tonight, offense won us a game. And but I got good players. There's a reason it's really hard to play at the next level. I think we got really, really good players. We got really good guards, and makes it tough. And we're obviously going to play high possessions. So there's going to be more possessions. We have that ability.
Brad, you're the number 13 ranked team in the country with the number 3 offensive efficiency. Your defense fell to 95 tonight. Is that how concerning is that, or do you need more balance there? Just what's your take?
Probably. There's no doubt. I'm not as worried about it when we're playing the number of possessions we're getting. It's kind of the old cliche. How do you move up in the net? How do you get in the in Ken Palm? Well, you beat people by 100. It's offensive based. I think in the NCAA tournament, I think you got to be able to score. I think we have a lot of weapons to score. Do we need to be better defensively? Yes. And my problem defensively is some of the mistakes that we're making, and we've got to. Those are allowing teams the good starts.
And Coach, I know there's not a ton you can do about it when they're taking such good care of the basketball, but are there things that you want to do to try to turn teams over a little bit more and speed them up?
No, I don't give 2 rips about turning people over. You find any team that turns people over, and I'll usually show you a bad team I don't want to stay in rotation. I did that. I had top 5 teams in trying to force turnovers and do that, and the players are too good at this level. It's too challenging to try to win that way every single night. No, we're really good with where we're at.
Brad, what is on the offensive end though in terms of turnovers? What has led you guys to play more possessions, but on a night tonight where you have 4 in a 40-minute game? Are you just that connected offensively?
This is going to sound really bad. We don't pass, and we play into. A lot of teams have the mindset, and I have had it for years. Get it to the third side. There's great advantage giving it to the third side. We do that, but the way we start a lot of offense is with, the booty ball and or a little action, and so we're not creating those turnovers, but we are very connected. And we know where guys are at spacing wise. We have a very good feel for that. And, you are a little bit shocked when we turn it over.
Brad, what does this version of Dane give you? I know on the other defense,
lot.
it seemed like
A
he was
lot.
the most physical inside.
A lot. Yeah, we're going to need Dane. And Dane's a really, really good player. And, it's been a challenge. Like I said, playing all the post-up stuff, opening the paint up. We're a driving team. We've been very good at that. We get to the foul line a lot. So it has been somewhat challenging at times in terms of where to play him. He can score with his back to the basket. Well, as soon as he's on the block, those driving lanes become a lot more clogged, and that's why they don't do it in the NBA. He's finding his spaces. He's a very good roller. He can play in the pocket. He's getting really comfortable there. And then in what we call the dunker spot, moving around the baseline, he's very, very efficient. And so all of us are getting pretty comfortable with that.
You mentioned maybe getting just enough defensive stops late to kind of change the game. Just with all the offense, can like that kill you got between the 6 and 5 minute mark? Can that just be the difference?
At nights like tonight, yes. Yeah, I don't know if they had one. I don't know if we went 3 possessions in a row without scoring. But there's nights when the game's pretty and it looks great and the ball goes in and you're getting those 3 or 4 consecutive stops is a difference. And tonight that was big for us.
What was the difference for Marcus in that second half after first half where you struggled a bit?
Well, a lot of matchups, and I think that it's one of the processes we go through every game is how our team's going to match us and how our team's going to then guard us. And they hit us really hard early with a real early trap. The second half they waited a little bit until they got down a little more into scoring area. And then they really rotated. We had them spaced pretty well, and they were rotating off Terrence in the corner, and he's just pretty effective with all that. And they tried 3 or 4 guys on him, and it ended up being Dawson at the end, and again, that's to our advantage.
Coleman, obviously 50 points the last 2 games, but it seems more off the bounce. He's gotten comfortable. What is he showcasing there offensively?
We're putting him in space, which is really good, and most of that for him is based on matchup. You know, and it's where he's very comfortable driving 5 men. He's very comfortable driving size. He's still maybe not, you know, when his attacks are more downhill. It's not where we're asking him to be at the top of the key and do some of the things we did a year ago, you know, in facilitating offense and making plays and passes and reads. It's just more downhill, and he's been very good at that. And you know, when you're shooting like he is, that paint gets pretty wide, and he gets pretty hard to guard.
You can tell me I'm wrong, but it seemed tonight there was a lot of back and forth in-game communication with you and Terrence, and how valuable is his feedback in real time?
Oh,
Hey,
it's
this is
great.
this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's and it was both ends of the court.
Right.
It wasn't just the offensive end; it was very much the defensive side as well. But you know, he plays with a great chip on his shoulder. You know, he wants to be the defensive player of the year in this league. He's talking about, well, can I go under this ball screen, or can I, you know, when he gets here, can I ice or can I blue? And you know, our boy at the Big Ten Network, Raphael Davis, gave us great motivation today because, you know, he doesn't like him very much, and you know, told him he basically left him off the all defensive team. So you know, Terrence walked in our coach's locker room and, you know, said, you know, call him and ask him about that. But Terrence is in communication all the time, but tonight he was very dialed in, both ends.
Coleman mentioned making Cam's touches harder in the second half. What did you see as far as slowing him down, making him a little more uncomfortable than he was in the early going?
We let him come off ball screens clean in the first half. I mean, in the first half, his touches were harder. They were more off the catch. We never let him get into ball screens. I think he made 4 in the first half, 3 or 4 in the first half off the bounce. And you know, Marcus, you know, started on him and got clipped on a screen, and you give Cam a breath of air like that with his high release and 6'6" frame, and that thing's a bucket. And he's done that all year in this league, and you know, we did make his touches harder. Justin did a nice job in the second half. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.